Hey, this is Alex G, and I'm just doing a little reflection on a panel I just participated in. It was a nice experience. The Cap Times put on an Ideas Fest and had a number of panelists talking about race. It's very interesting. Um, Sue Robinson, who's a UW journalism professor, put this together, and she actually has recently written a book about how white progressives will deal with issues of race and what some of the challenges are. And she wanted me to talk about why it's important for whites to talk to whites. And I said, that's a decent question. But what I'd really like to talk about is the fact that sometimes white progressives um, hinder race relations because we have to be so careful to walk on eggshells that we don't hurt the feelings of well intentioned people. Well, if we're trying to fix race relations and we're trying to restore the injured party, and we're worrying about the people who aren't injured per se, we take the focus off the children who are being destroyed because of racial disparity in this country and in this community and the families. So, just a couple of observations. After to that event, the panel. I was on the panel, of course, and you can only get so much in because there are other panelists, and you want to make room for everyone. But a couple of observations I would say to our white friends who would consider themselves progressives. A couple of things to consider. One, it's a sticky situation, so we can't guarantee you that it won't be difficult. One of the things Sue asked me was, "Well, how can we present this in a way that won't make people feel like we're coming down on them or wouldn't be divisive?" If the desired outcome of the race relations discussion or disparity discussion is to not leave the white person feeling bad, then let's just stop the discussion. Let's just finish right there because you'll never deal with these issues if that's what you're trying to address. In fact, I think that that's why we haven't gotten further in race relations because that has been the result or the desired result, and we haven't said it. Um, I feel that people want to exempt themselves of the responsibility and the benefits of racism, but they want to be the champions to say, this is wrong, racism sucks. If you're going to bash racism, then you've got to also understand where it has benefited you. And understand that. I don't mean just adopt the language or the phraseology, but really understand it, know your history. It's why Justified Anger offers an annual U.S. Black History class for non blacks. Because once you understand the history, a good academic look at history, you understand why things are the way they are. And it helps you to know how to move ahead. So I think if you want to be helpful and you don't know the territory and how we got here, you can't be helpful. Second, whites, I'm inviting you to please talk to fellow whites about your feelings, your fears, what's happening in the world, what you think about it. You can't practice all of those things on us. Here's what I see happen in my community all the time. I promise you this happens. Something like Charlottesville would take place. And people will want to talk to me about those neo Nazis, those fascists, those khaki wearing, torch toting white guys, but they won't talk to white guys who have no friends. They won't talk to white guys who don't have black friends, who don't have black employees, board presidents who don't have black trustees. They want to talk to me about the issue, almost as if they want me to say, "But I know you wouldn't be like that. I know you wouldn't do that." And so, listen, white people, you got to talk to white people. When whites come to my events, they look around and they ask me, "Where are the black people?" Because many of these whites don't want to be in space where it's just white because white's yucky, white's lame, white's this, white's that. I want to be around black people. You want to be around black people because you want to wax eloquent. You want to tell black people what you wouldn't do, what you wouldn't think, who you'd let your children marry, who you'd hire if you had power. But yet, in your spheres of influence, you may not have challenged the PTO, your church leaders, your boss, the board you're on, the nonprofits you work for, or you volunteer in. So understand this. We need whites to talk to whites. That's essential. I will not talk to white colleagues. I don't care how powerful, how wealthy, how interested. If you want to practice your race relations on a person of color, and not have to talk about you, you can't be helpful. Because we don't need you to roll up your sleeves and just jump in helping black kids. What's your understanding of the issue? Because who's going to help white kids? Me? I can't help white kids and black kids. I can't do it all. So who's going to talk to white kids? Those guys in Charlottesville talking about blood and soil and Jews will not replace us? That's someone's kid. Those men played soccer. Those men played Little League. Those men were cute one day as kids. But who talked to them? And somebody heard comments. Somebody knew that was that was inside those men, and they didn't stop it. They're probably too busy tutoring black kids, and they weren't helping white kids to understand. You can't say stuff like that, son. You can't think like that. Hey, that's not right. That's really, really important. But I just in the last 3 weeks, I've done 2 interviews, and I've been asked, how do we make this safe for white people to discuss? I have to talk about race all the time, and nobody makes it safe for me. No one makes it safe for me. It can risk my reputation. My congregation, which is very multi-ethnic, can get upset. People who support what I do financially. I'm always at risk of angering someone when I say white privilege is real, these systemic issues are real, white people want exemption, but they want to be on my side to help me say racism sucks. They don't want to take on the responsibility of taking on their own community. And so I can't make it safe for white people. This is part of the sin of America, that we have set up a system to make one group of people think that you are genetically superior, and other groups think that they are genetically inferior. And this is what has been bequeathed to us. So if we're going to really turn it around, understand that that's real. And you've got to talk about that. Our next history class is coming up in early 2018, but we have a couple of standalone classes that we're doing. You can contact our office or write us at justifiedanger@nehemiah.org. Find out how you can get involved. Sit among people who are really learning, because once these people learn, we're trying to ready them to sit on boards, to help become change agents, to infiltrate all white organizations and try to build an understanding of the importance of multi-ethnicity. So we're not just training people so that we can scratch the itch of our intellectual hunger, but I'm trying to really empower my non-black colleagues to understand what's going on. I'm inviting you in to learn about our history, because U.S. history didn't just happen to black people. It happened to all of us. Something happened to indigenous people, people of color. Somebody did it to them. We are the descendants of the folks who either did or got dead. You know what I'm saying? Let's just own that so that we can move ahead. So I won't make this video too long, but I just want you to know I'm tired of people asking me how to make this safe for white people. This is dangerous. This is divisive. This is deadly. I can't make it safe, but I can give you space where you can become equipped so that you know how to detonate these ugly bombs of racism. So we'll keep talking, we'll keep dialoguing. Make sure you sign up for that class, because it's going to go fast. And yeah, I just wanted to think about this a little bit. I appreciate the panel. I appreciate the efforts that we're making in our community to talk about race. But if rule 1 is to make white people safe, then we can't save the kids and families that are the true victims of racial disparity. All right, this is Alex G. That's all I'm going to say about that right now.